2 dead in a rock slide.
And I just looked over my left shoulder and saw this whole slab of rock. It looked like a multi-story building coming down.
Survivors explain how quickly everything happened. Plus, here comes the rain again.
It's quite nice right now. I guess we'll see if it gets worse.
Like if it pours, then I'm done.
Making adjustments as the weather takes a turn. And keeping a distance between wildlife and world leaders.
We did work a couple of bears out of an area full of people, and they were really good.
The team that became unique ambassadors at the G7.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news. With Tara Nelson. Reporting tonight, Ian White.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. It's a stunning and tragic scene in Banff National Park. Parks Canada and RCMP now confirm yesterday's deadly rock slide near Bow Glacier Falls has claimed 2 lives and left a community of hikers shaken. Mark Villani has the latest, including words from a survivor who ran for her life.
Elizabeth Jackson holds her dog Juniper close, just mere hours after the pair were caught in the panic of what was supposed to be a peaceful hike in Banff's Rocky Mountains.
I thought I was going to die for sure.
The solo hiker had stopped to talk with others on the popular Bow Glacier Falls Trail. Moments later, the mountainside gave way.
I just looked over my left shoulder and saw this whole slab of rock. It looked like a multi-story building coming down. It was just a blur from there. I just got up and I ran.
When the dust settled, Jackson turned back to help. What she saw was devastating.
I walked up to where I saw people sprawled out, and there was a lady wedged between rocks, somebody unresponsive on top of a boulder, and it was just complete panic. 2 people were killed. 3 others were taken by ground or air to hospital. The next of kin of one victim hasn't been notified, but the other victim, 70-year-old Yuda Heinrichs from Calgary, was a retired university instructor. She was out with her slow and steady hikers group. Her friends call her a kind, dedicated leader. On Friday, the emotions are still raw on nearby trails.
It's very sad. But I guess it's never possible to have 100% security.
You don't realize the impact it can have and just take people's lives. So
heard that on the news. It's very sad to hear that. But, you know, one never knows, unfortunately.
A smaller rock slide happened in the same area in August 2023. A woman was injured running from the area. RCMP and Parks Canada say both were caused by natural events that can't be predicted or prevented. Geologists suspect water seeping into the fractured rock is likely what triggered this massive collapse over the course of decades.
Water seeping into the ground, day after day, year after year, decade after decade, increasing the saturation.
But as the trail remains closed, some hikers just feel lucky to be alive.
That was not an easy thing to witness and to just be enjoying the day and then have that happen.
Mark is live in Lake Louise. So, Mark, what do officials say about staying safe in the backcountry?
Well, Ian, Parks Canada says that even on an easier trail like this one, it is still important to remember that this is a wilderness environment and that it does come with risk. Now, hikers need to have a plan. They should let people know about where they're going and when they're leaving. Be aware of your surroundings and where you take breaks as well. Parks Canada adding here that places like this often don't have cell reception, so it might be smart to bring a satellite communication device. In this instance, 3 people called for help in that way. Ian.
Good to know. Thank you, Mark. And as Mark mentioned, the 2 victims weren't the only ones hiking in the area yesterday. Tim Brooke has more now on those who were able to get out before the exceptionally unusual slide.
Officials say it was a freak accident.
Sadly, this extremely rare event appears to have been neither preventable nor predictable. The scope and size of this rock fall is extremely rare for the mountain environment.
On Thursday, 18 people were at the falls when the rock fell.
We could see that there were 4 individuals on the debris, and there were bystanders caring for them. We estimate it was around 11 bystanders that may have had some minor injuries.
There was 1 more person buried under the rock and only discovered after search and rescue dogs caught a scent. By Friday morning, the military moved in.
5 a.m., Canada Task Force 2 began infrared drone flights through their partners in the Calgary Police Service, followed by investigative action at the site with a Xistios thermal imaging camera. Visitor safety specialists recovered the remaining deceased individual from the site.
3 others were taken out by air and ground ambulance and are, as of the last update, in hospital in stable condition. The extent of their injuries is unknown. The 100-person rescue effort is now over, and no one else is believed to be missing.
And Tim joins us from the Foothills Hospital. Tim, crews say they're confident rescue work in the area is done.
Well, that's right, Ian, but the area around the falls will be closed for the foreseeable future. Parks Canada officials tell us that's because experts have more work to do there. They really need to make sure all the rock is steady and settled before any other hikers can head to the falls.
Thank you, Tim. And just one more update on this. RCMP say 1 patient from the rockslide is in critical condition. 2 others are in serious condition. Prime Minister Mark Carney and Mayor Jyoti Gondek are offering words of support to those affected by the tragedy.
A few words of condolences to the loved ones of those affected by the tragedy at Bow Glacier Falls in Alberta. On behalf of those who lost their lives in this tragic incident, their families, and recovery to those injured. And I want to thank the first responders and Parks Canada employees who've been conducting the search and rescue efforts over the course of the last 24 hours.
I am so very sorry that this is what they are going through right now. It's incredibly tragic.
The rain has started to come down. Many events and activities throughout our city are either being moved indoors or canceled if they can't proceed, rain or shine. Stephanie Thomas has more.
One of Nathan Varstra's favorite spots to play piano is close to Chinook Station. As the raindrops fall, he's using plastic wrap to protect his keyboard.
If it like pours, then I'm not doing that. Yeah, like if it pours, then I'm done. Like I'm going somewhere else.
For these Rotarians visiting from down under, they're looking on the bright side.
The weather will be what it will be, and there's nothing we can do about it. So enjoy it.
And seeing the snow-covered mountains and that kind of stuff, can't go wrong.
As the reservoir has been lowered in preparation for this rain, plenty of Saturday events are pivoting. Sport Calgary's All Sport One Day event is moving all outdoor sport activities indoors wherever possible.
You know, our number one priority is the safety of everybody, safety of the participants, the families, the sport organizations, the staff.
The bike park at Windsport is canceling opening weekend and is delaying its start to Tuesday.
With the temperatures and the water and the wind, I really think that people will be pretty understanding and that they'll know that their next best opportunity is going to be the following weekend.
The city's annual Neighbor Day celebrations are set to continue, rain or shine, and the mayor will bring a rain poncho with her in addition to other goodies. Other Calgarians say they hope they can keep dry, but welcome a bit of moisture at the start of summer.
No, it's quite nice right now. I guess we'll see if it gets worse. I just hope I don't get drenched, that's all.
It's good for the weather. It's good for the fires. The rain is, yes.
Stephanie Thomas, CTV News, Calgary.
One event that is going ahead tonight is the Marta Loop Night Market. This is a live look at the market on 18th Street between 34th and 36th Avenues Southwest. There's still construction in the area, and market organizers want to showcase businesses and offer one-of-a-kind goods, food trucks, and live music. It runs until 10 tonight. The market will also be held July 18th and September 26th. So hopefully better weather for those dates for the market. Danielle joins us now with a first look at the weather. A lot of us here have memories of 2013, the big flood. Happened on this date, as a matter of fact. How does this rain event compare to what happened in 2013?
It's a good question, and it's a different setup from 2013. I think the key thing to look at and the key thing to mention is that in 2013, we had accelerated slow melt, which enhanced the amount of water coming at us. Plus, we did have a system over us that hovered over us for days and provided a lot of rainfall. So that key part is what's similar to this one. So this won't be to the extent of 2013, but this is significant and it is a lot of rainfall. So I'm going to go over these numbers again a little later, but just to give you an idea, basically up towards the mountains, that's where we could see, that's basically the bullseye area where we could see up to 100 millimeters of rain. Kananaskis area looking under a snowfall warning right now because we're looking at snow combined with rain for tonight. And then further off to the east, Calgary included up to 80 millimeters of rain. So a lot. I will go over that a little more later, plus when we combine that with the wind and the risk that's associated with that. We're sitting at 12 degrees right now. That's what we're looking at for the evening. And tomorrow, temperatures will actually take a dive throughout the day. Will remain in those single digits. So we won't increase, we won't be any warmer, and it will be gusty and very heavy rain. The bulk of the rain is tonight and through tomorrow. More details coming up, Ian.
Thanks, Danielle. Family and friends of murdered teenager Dean Visser filled a courtroom today for a sentencing hearing. There were many tears, even some laughter, as they remembered the funny and athletic teen who was ripped from their lives. Alicia Fieldberg reports.
Dean Visser's family focuses on memories of his funny faces, love of outdoor adventures and sports. A year after the 16-year-old was murdered over an online feud, court held a sentencing hearing for the killer.
There's a part missing. The fun kid that used to come in and just announce himself, I'm here, make a ruckus, and that's all gone. You're waiting for that door to open and say, I'm home, and he's gone.
A 17-year-old boy was charged with first-degree murder but later pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. He's 18 now, but can't be named under the Youth Criminal Justice Act. Nearing the end of the court case is only small comfort for Visser's family.
I miss my son. And I'm sad that he's gone. And I understand that the other mom misses her son too, but I'm sorry, she can still talk to them, and I can't talk to Dean ever again.
Last June, Visser was walking in Forest Lawn when he was followed, attacked, and stabbed from behind by another teenage boy. He first told police Visser attacked him, but found out there was security video and admitted to the killing, saying he saw rage and just went forward.
As far as we know, the only way these two boys interacted was through social media. And it's a powerful tool, and it's also a dangerous tool.
The social media life is not real, and I think a lot of people don't realize that.
Family and friends told court Visser was a thoughtful kid, full of laughter, mischief, and potential.
We're here to honor Dean Visser.
Calgary Roughnecks started a program in his name to teach youth to coach and ref.
The fact that we'll be able to help facilitate these clinics, these next steps for young players in memory of Dean, to us was a no-brainer.
A legacy inspired by the young lacrosse player.
Dean was a really fun kid to be around, watching out for people, helping people.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
The killer was in court and chose not to speak. His lawyer argued that his cognitive issues and childhood instability should be factors in the sentence. A decision is expected in August. Emergency crews responded to a collision this afternoon between a bus and a semi-trailer unit. Fortunately, there were no passengers on the bus at the time of the crash. The vehicles collided at 14th Street and 115th Avenue Northeast at about 1:45. Neither driver was hurt. The collision caused some traffic delays in the area. A deadly motorcycle crash closed a section of northbound Stony Trail Northwest for hours last night. It happened between Sarcee Trail and Country Hills Boulevard. The 35-year-old rider was rushed to hospital in critical condition, but he died later. Police say a pickup truck with a utility trailer was in the middle lane with the motorcyclist in the far left lane. When traffic slowed, the pickup braked and changed lanes to the left, striking the motorcycle. The bike ended up near a center median cable barrier. The pickup driver was not hurt. Police say speed, alcohol, and drugs are not considered factors in this collision. They're still investigating and are asking for dash cam video other drivers may have. Alberta has now passed a concerning milestone in the current measles outbreak. We now have more than 1,000 cases province-wide, 1,020 to be exact. In the last day, there have been 14 new cases in the North Health Zone, 9 in the South, 1 in Edmonton, and 0 in Calgary. Alberta is getting closer to the total measles cases this year in the entire United States. There are more than 1,200 cases reported in 35 states and the District of Columbia, with 3 deaths. It's also worth noting that Ontario has had nearly 2,200 measles cases in 2025. It was a busy day for weather watchers in Saskatchewan. As many as 8 tornadoes touched down. Still ahead, how rare it is to have weather like that. And hockey in the winter, basketball, and other sports in the summer. The new sport courts going into local communities thanks to the Flames Foundation. Firefighters in Badger, Newfoundland say they're blocking flames from jumping a key river and threatening the town. Rain and proactive management has helped, but officials are advising against non-mandatory visits and an evacuation order remains in effect. Meanwhile, in Manitoba, communities affected by wildfires are on the path to recovery. Flin Flon is one of several communities where people are going home as mandatory wildfire evacuation orders are lifted. In Alberta, there are 51 wildfires, with 19 of them out of control. Alberta wildfire officials say while significant rain is expected in parts of the province this weekend, northern areas will stay warm and dry, adding challenges to ongoing firefighting efforts. There were tense talks today between European and Iranian officials as Donald Trump says he could make a decision anytime in the next 2 weeks over U.S. military action in Iran. Heather Wright on the talks and attacks from both sides.
Sirens sound over Jerusalem as Iran and Israel trade fresh attacks for the 8th consecutive day as diplomatic efforts to contain the conflict took place in Geneva.
Mr. Minister, how are you, sir?
Iran's foreign minister met with top diplomats from Britain, France, and Germany today, a meeting that ended with no signs of a breakthrough. Asked about it, U.S. President Donald Trump said it will be the Americans, not the Europeans, that solve this conflict, though he seemed to reject Iran's demand for Israel to halt its airstrikes in order for talks to resume.
I think it's very hard to make that request right now. If somebody's winning, it's a little bit harder to do than if somebody's losing.
Trump says he will decide within the next 2 weeks whether the United States will join this conflict and provide Israel with the bunker-busting bomb it needs to hit Iran's nuclear site Fordo, which is buried deep in a mountain.
If they launch that bunker buster, now we got United States, in a war with Israel, fighting against a power that called Iran that wants to have a nuclear capability. It could then potentially draw in Russia. It could, raise the dander of China. So, this would change the political calculus tremendously, and I don't think anybody wants that to happen.
Global Affairs Canada says it's organizing flights in neighboring countries, urging Canadians in Israel and Iran to head to Jordan, Turkey, and Armenia. Hi, Hossein. Hossein Hodabash is among the many trying to leave Iran. He's not Canadian, but has lived in Toronto since 2019 and has a valid work permit. He was in Iran to visit his sick mum, but when he tried to leave, he discovered his temporary resident visa is expired, and he can't get back into Canada until a new one arrives.
When the war happened, it was like just a nightmare. I don't know about the future. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Airspace above both Israel and Iran is closed, and while Canada has an embassy in Israel, it has had no diplomatic ties with Iran since 2012, further complicating efforts to get Canadians out of the country. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
UNICEF is warning of the latest humanitarian crisis in Gaza, children possibly dying of thirst. The UN's Children's Aid Agency says Gaza is facing a man-made drought as its water systems collapse. Just 40% of Gaza's drinking water production facilities are functional. UNICEF says 500,000 people are facing starvation, and Palestinian children have even been injured or killed while waiting for food aid. A protest rally in support of Iran is underway at Calgary City Hall. Here's a live look at the gathering, which began at 6 o'clock. Organizers say it's a peaceful rally to raise their voices against the war, which they say has been imposed by Israel. They say it's time to say no to war and advocate for peace. Their theme is no to war, hands off Iran. And they're marking a day of solidarity with the oppressed. The House of Commons has passed the Liberals' major projects legislation known as Bill C-5.
With this bill, the word nation carries a much greater meaning. These projects will build our national economy, and through Indigenous equity and resource management, these projects will be built with Indigenous nations and communities.
The Liberals' One Canadian Economy Act grants the government sweeping powers to approve major projects that are deemed to be in the national interest and tackle internal trade barriers. 8 tornadoes are under investigation after a unique weather day in Saskatchewan. There were sightings yesterday from southeast of Saskatoon all the way down to Estevan in the far southeast. Storm chasers tracked 3 tornadoes from one supercell alone. They say the powerful winds downed power lines and damaged oil field infrastructure. Environment Canada says tornadoes are nothing new on the prairies, but we don't often see this many in one day.
To have 8 in one day is quite a memorable event, a substantial event. You know, in terms of is this going to become more common or not in the future, it's a little hard to say.
Environment Canada data shows Canada experiences more than 60 tornadoes per year, with July as the month with the biggest tornado risk.
This is CTV News Calgary.
So, Danielle, let's admit it, we're going to be soaked for the next couple of days, but looking beyond that, when will we see the sun again?
Okay, that's a great question. So the sun should peak out at times on Sunday. We're not fully done with this system by Sunday, but we will have moments where it may get a little brighter and a little warmer. This is one of the cooler days of this stretch for sure. Only 9 right now in Banff, 12 in Calgary and Lethbridge, 16 in Medicine Hat, and 10 in Pincher Creek. So this system is certainly pulling in cooler air, and yes, we're going to be cool for another day or so, and then temperatures will start to recover a little bit anyway. We talked about this yesterday, but worth mentioning again, of course, looking at the potential issues with this system. This is a lot of rain in just 3 days, and that could lead to some localized flooding, absolutely, in many communities, especially in basements, for example. So make sure the storm drains, eaves troughs, downspouts, everything by your house is cleared out and ready to go. We've already begun this, but we already have saturated ground. When you combine this with more rain and wind, that could topple trees and lead to power outages as well, especially tonight through tomorrow. All right, let's talk about the warnings that are in place. And in the green, this is the rainfall warning. In the gray, this is the statement that's in place. And I'll talk more about that in just a second. And then we have the snowfall warning. So when you look at elevation, 1,500 meters overnight tonight in the Kananaskis area will likely switch to wet snow. Horrible driving conditions because we have rain and snow being an issue in that area. Okay, looking at amounts, basically along QE2, Highway 2 to the east, 40 to 80 millimeters is possible. I'm showing you a range because the higher end is less likely, but it's still a possibility with this. So I want to show you worst case scenario as well, because it could happen. Basically up the mountains, so all along here, 100 millimeters is possible with this. That looks like it will be the bullseye area with this system. And off to the east, we're looking at windy conditions as well through tomorrow, and that's where we get into the risk of trees getting pushed down and power outages. So that's the risk, especially for tomorrow, as the winds pick up really east of QE2 and Highway 2 up to 80 kilometers per hour. Here's a look at the system. Embedded thunderstorms possible for the next few hours, and then it will mainly be just rain. Let me give you an idea of the timeline here. And rain will continually push into Calgary tonight and through tomorrow as well. When it will start to move out with regards to that consistent long-term rainfall is 5 p.m. tomorrow. And then we're looking at on and off rain possible even through Sunday too. So yes, there's a lot on the way still. 9 degrees is our high for tomorrow. Winds, a cold wind gusting out of the north at 50 kilometers per hour, and heavy rain tomorrow, and then on and off rain with thunderstorms possible Sunday and Monday, but we'll recover into the teens by then. That's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast. Okay, don't miss the first ever Calgary Health Foundation Home Lottery Mountain Edition Early Bird Deadline. Get your tickets and you are in to win the Mercedes Adventure Seeker Early Bird Prize or take $300,000 cash. Early Bird Deadline is midnight tonight. There are less than 5% tickets remaining. Buy now at CalgaryMountainHomeLottery.com.
Thanks, Danielle. 4 communities are getting used sports courts, including hockey rinks, as part of a partnership between the Calgary Flames Foundation and 2 local Rotary clubs. The $3 million investment will see Flames Rotary sports zones built over the next few years. These sports zones include basketball courts and hockey rinks, along with lower-cost programs year-round and free equipment. The first sports zone will be built in the Pine Ridge area in the northeast. It will be open this fall.
It's really to give back. The importance of the communities are the youth of tomorrow. So this is really giving back to the youth and the families so that they can learn how to play sports and do activities. And then in the future, they're going to be great members of society, and hopefully it's a full cycle and they give back in the long term as well.
Sunalta and Crossroads will see their recreation areas built next year. A 4th location has not been determined yet. This announcement comes as the Rotary Club hosts a major international convention in Calgary. The tragedy earlier this year at a festival in Vancouver is having an impact across the country. Coming up, how the Stampede is making changes to ensure people are safe. And an expansion of collegiate schools across Alberta. More than $12 million worth of illegal cigarettes and cigars have been seized in Edmonton. Alberta Gaming, Liquor and Cannabis says the seizures happened across 2 separate investigations. In total, nearly 67,000 cartons of cigarettes and cigars were found. Criminal charges are pending. The AGLC says provincial tax avoidance tops more than $4 million. It also says illegally manufactured products also pose health risks because they lack regulatory control. The Calgary Stampede is taking steps to make sure fairgoers are safe as they kick up their heels. New anti-ramming curbside blockades have been purchased and will be in place on the grounds this year. They are there to keep vehicles from plowing through crowds of pedestrians, like what happened at the Lapu Lapu Festival in Vancouver in April. 11 people were killed and the driver faces second-degree murder charges. Up until now, the Stampede has rented such devices as needed, but decided it was time to do more.
The nice thing about these barriers is that with the right equipment and tools, they can be redeployed to different areas as well as provide emergency access if needed.
You will also see them at the Calgary International Airport. In a statement, the airport authority says it's a proactive attempt to boost security rather than a response to any particular incident. The province has announced 60 new collegiate schools across the province and improvements to 4 others. The collegiate schools offer specialized programming in areas like science, aviation, agriculture, and the trades. Most of the brand new collegiates are in central and northern Alberta, but most of the facility upgrades are coming to southern Alberta collegiates, including Calgary Trades and Technologies Collegiate and Fusion Collegiate Aviation.
With this expansion, we're not just building schools, we're building bridges between education and employment and creating new pathways for success across Alberta.
There are currently 12 collegiate schools operating in the province. Well, here's a landmark for you. The city's residential street sweeping season has wrapped up. The final city roads were cleared on June 18th and finished on budget at a cost of $7.5 million. Between mid-April and the final day, 19 million kilograms of gravel and debris were cleared. That's the equivalent of nearly 12,000 sedans. Speaking of vehicles, over 34,000 tags were issued by Calgary Parking as of the final day of street sweeping. The fleet of sweepers will be back on the road for Stampede. Well, they experienced the G7 summit like no one else. Next, the team that kept bears away from the leaders and spent some quality time with their spouses. The eyes eyes of the world were on southern Alberta last week during the G7 summit in Kananaskis. One team was working behind the scenes, keeping wildlife at bay. Quinn Keenan has their story.
Security around the G7 summit, both before and during the event, left nothing to chance. While keeping unauthorized people away was paramount, deterring bears was also important. That's where the Canadian Bear Safety Authority came in.
It is quite the event. I've been part of the G7 several years ago, back in 2002, when I was an officer with Fish and Wildlife. So I recently retired a couple of years ago and then started the Canadian Bear Safety Authority.
7 handlers as well as 5 dogs, including Karelian bear dogs known for their fearlessness, patrolled the town site looking for wildlife that might be getting too close for comfort. The team came across a grizzly and black bear. That's when the dogs were sent in.
We did work a couple of bears out of an area full of people, and they were really good. They left right away. Our dogs were major ambassadors for safe coexistence of wildlife and humans as well. They bring a lot of attention to the scenarios.
Their dogs became minor celebrities during the summit. Attendees enjoyed just relaxing and petting the dogs after long days working. 7-month-old Luna was particularly well received. This was her first time working, but she was able to hold her own.
Another highlight for me would be how my young pup was able to work on her very first bear and how she did it with a huge crowd of supporters behind her, and she did an incredible job. She didn't balk or hesitate at all.
It took months of preparation for the wildlife team, but they're happy to have been involved in such a major event. They were able to work for security teams from across Canada and around the world. Clark was even able to take spouses of some of the dignitaries on a hike.
We got to take 4 dignitaries, which was the First Lady of Canada and Germany and Japan, and then the federal, the EU Chancellor's husband. We took them for a walk up to Troll Falls.
Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Blairmore.
That is so cool. All these sidebar stories from the G7, I just love it. Who took care of the wildlife, who took care of the food, just wonderful stories. Well, when the karaoke music begins, there's no predicting what might happen. Timothy Richards performs on occasion with the Estonian National Opera. He crushes Nessun Dorma, performed by Pavarotti and many others. And the guys in the bar lose their minds. Sam Stride and his buddies from Britain were in Estonia for his stag. He posted this on TikTok, and Richards, who is originally from Wales, says it was his first time doing karaoke.
Willing to bet there was a few drinks involved.
I was just about to say that. You know, the Brits going to Estonia for the stag. Just a little bit of alcohol there.
Also, who wants to follow that?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
did anyone sing after?
You're just going to shut the karaoke down?
Well, you know, you'd be singing the Backstreet Boys, Danielle, of course, right after that.
Thanks for dating me.
Naturally. Well, it's the perfect way to bring the cows in from the field. Big band music.
No way.
Cian Oxtoby shared this video on TikTok of cows in northern England coming when they heard Second World War era jazz music. Oxtoby says his girlfriend had a theory that cows like jazz, and it turns out she was right.
Wow.
The cows liked what they heard.
Oh, Ian, good
and
work.
the song is It's Been a Long, Long Time, recorded by Harry James and his orchestra in 1945. This video has been seen 130,000 times on Oxtoby's TikTok.
They're very curious, right?
Yes.
So all you need is a little radio to get them where you want to go.
There's just not a lot going on in the field, I guess, so it's quite exciting for them. Well, we're all familiar with the photo bomb, someone who interrupts your perfect selfie. Here's an underwater version of it.
He's so cute.
GoPro posted this on their Instagram page. The fish seemed intent on getting some exposure. The video got 154,000 likes and first prize in a GoPro contest.
Really like the smile.
Yeah, he's smiling.
I think he's smiling.
Completes it all, right?
He looks all happy.
Are you
posing.
sure he's smiling?
Yeah.
How can you tell?
He is.
We know.
Okay. Well, it took several years, but a Calgary author has finally won her defamation case. Still ahead, why a professor in Saskatchewan has been found in the wrong.
All right, don't need to tell you this. Looking outside, yep, it's rainy, heavy at times. I'm sure you've heard it on the roof already. And there's lots more to come. This is a lot of rain in just a few days. Okay, let's sum up precipitation for June just to put this in perspective for you. Normal amount of precipitation in the month of June, which is our rainiest month in Calgary, 112.7 millimeters. Precipitation, so rainfall as of yesterday, so before the system started, we only got 16.1 millimeters. So it's been a very dry June for us. Again, this is too much too fast. That's not great either, but we're looking at adding 40 to 80 millimeters with just this system alone in Calgary. Temperatures are cool. As you know, Banff just sitting at 9 degrees. You may even see some wet snowflakes, Banff town site. A lot of the snowfall, though, should be higher elevation. Okay, the bullseye area is basically up and along the mountains, 100 millimeters of rain possible here. As you get closer to QE2, Highway 2, 40 to 80 millimeters. But then tomorrow combined with windy conditions, and that could topple trees and create power outages. Here's a look at the system. Still driving lots of moisture into Calgary and much of southern Alberta. Your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace. Fix right or it's free. So even embedded thunderstorms possible for the evening hours. Rain overnight tonight, and then tomorrow rainy and windy, and temperatures will drop throughout the day rather than increase. We'll be in the single digits. Gusts out of the north, 50 kilometers per hour for Calgary. Lots of rain and thunderstorms possible on the BC side, as you can see. And then basically Rocky Mountain House, Red Deer, and south. Rain, heavy at times, and much cooler temperatures. In fact, Calgary just looking at a high of 9, Lethbridge 10, Medicine Hat 14. Don't miss the first ever Calgary Health Foundation Home Lottery Mountain Edition Early Bird Deadline. Get your tickets and you are in to win the Mercedes Adventure Seeker Early Bird Prize, or take $300,000 cash. Early bird deadline is midnight tonight. There are less than 5% tickets remaining. Buy now at CalgaryMountainHomeLottery.com. Ian?
Thank you, Danielle. 2 people have died after a massive rock slide in Banff National Park. Retired university instructor Jutta Hinrichs was one of the victims who was hiking when the slide came down yesterday afternoon. 3 patients remain in hospital. Family and friends of a 16-year-old boy murdered last year filled the courtroom for the sentencing hearing of his 17-year-old killer. A decision will come at a later date. And a city bus collided with a semi-truck in the northeast this afternoon. No passengers were on the bus, and the drivers were not hurt. A University of Regina professor has been found liable for defaming a Calgary author. Calgary's Candace McLean published this book in 2016. It's critical of the Neil Stonechild inquiry, which found the Indigenous teenager was in the custody of 2 Saskatoon police officers the night he froze to death in November 1990. Professor Michelle Stewart called the book racist garbage on Facebook. A judge has now found Stewart liable, saying she did not read the book before she called it racist.
I'm absolutely thrilled to get this decision. I'm hoping that activists will now realize there are limits to their behavior, and yes, they deserve freedom of speech, but not to the point where it impinges on others.
McLean wanted $165,000 in damages, but was awarded $6,000. Stewart and her lawyer have not returned CTV News inquiries for comments. We have new retail numbers from Statistics Canada that show a slowdown in spending. B&M Bloomberg's Mirella Fernandez has more on that and other business headlines.
Canadian retail sales were up in April, but dramatically down in May. An early estimate suggests sales dropped more than 1% last month. That's the biggest dip in a year. Retail sales were up in April by 0.3%, with consumers rushing to buy cars to get ahead of tariffs. Analysts say the May number is another sign the economy could stall later this year. Here's how the trading day ended. The Canadian dollar is down to 73.79. West Texas Intermediate is up to 73.84. Our fix on Western Canadian Select has it up to 61.48, and the TSX is down slightly to 26,497. Those are your business headlines. I'm Mirella Fernandez.
There's a new way to head out to the mountains for people flying into our city. Flixbus is introducing routes from the airport to Canmore, Banff, Lake Louise, and more. The private company operates in more than 40 countries around the world. It aims to answer the growing demand for transport to the Rockies by tourists and Canadians. Between 14 and 16 trips a day will begin on June 26th. Rain or shine, Cavalry FC has been on quite the unbeaten streak lately, and they want to keep it going this weekend. Glenn has more on the team's mindset coming up. Cavalry FC is back on the pitch tomorrow as they face Pacific FC. Glenn is back with us. And Glenn, Cavalry has had a really good run.
Ian, in all competitions, Cavalry has points in their last 9 games. Cavalry's in 3rd place in the Canadian Premier League. And rain or not tomorrow, they want to hang 10.
Yevremovich, it's a decent ball, and it's a perfect header!
After a rough start to the year, Cavalry FC is now 5-3-2 on the season.
Here's an opportunity for Cavalry, rated on goal, and it's an early marker.
On Saturday, they'll face Pacific FC, who haven't exactly been in good form of late. They're 2-2-7 on the season. But head coach Tommy Wheelgen Jr. says you can't take anyone lightly in this league.
It's a 90-minute game of football that anything can happen, whether that's the way we play, whether it's the environmental conditions that are coming. You know, we can't have any excuses after the game when I'm speaking to you in the post-match press conference. It's all about how we approach the opponent, you know, nullify their strengths, expose any weaknesses and doubts that they have. But it comes down to what we do as a collective.
After losing Dan Klump and Charlie Trafford in the offseason, no one knew where the leadership was going to come from. It's been a collective effort.
That's made space for other people to step up. I think the leadership, which makes this locker room special, isn't just on 1 or 2 guys. It's like spread on multiple shoulders. And yeah, we just have great character in the changing room, great character on the pitch.
Cavalry will try to go unbeaten in 10 games on Saturday, but that's not the club record. The team was unbeaten in 13 games in the 2022 season. Wheelden Jr. says he's not even thinking about that.
Just focus on the next game. The next play is always the most important. So the records will always be written after the fact. So it's up to us to just play Pacific the best we possibly can, and then we can keep totaling up what we need to total up come the end.
Well, that game gets underway 2:30 tomorrow at Atco Field. Don't forget Stamps. Also in action tomorrow, they take on the Ottawa Red Blacks. 2 o'clock. Let's hope there's not as much rain as they're calling for. Flames news. They've signed forward Dryden Hunt to a 2-year, 2-way contract, AAV $825,000 at the NHL level. And the Calgary Wranglers, they've hired Brett Sutter as their new head coach. So another Sutter head coach in the Flames organization.
Where have I heard that name before?
Right? Yep.
Yeah.
He'll be great. He'll be fantastic.
Okay. And as you mentioned, we have soccer and football tomorrow, which is quite a challenge in terms of weather.
That'll be an interesting one for sure, right? We got to make it interesting. We got to switch it up a little. The heaviest rain is really now in through up until 5 o'clock tomorrow in Calgary. Tomorrow will be very rainy at times and gusty out of the north of 50 kilometers per hour and a cool day. I would say tomorrow's a movie day. 15 degrees by Sunday. So we get into the teens. We recover a little bit for Sunday and Monday, but we're looking at peaks of sunshine here and there, but we're also looking at rainfall at times, still isolated showers and isolated thunderstorms possible Sunday, even in through Monday. And again, for Calgary, the potential is up to 80 millimeters of rain Friday through Sunday. Weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors. Crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. And I messed this one up yesterday, Libby Goodlift. Sorry about that, but here's your beautiful picture.
It's such a good photo. Thank you for joining us, and have a great night.